You know, that was, and but it didn't come. So I stood up and looked, and then what I saw was he was in the aisle and halfway to the door, but and Vic was up against the wall, the left wall, looking towards the door, and he had the gun on Vic, and Vic was just paralyzed, absolutely paralyzed, and he yelled, "Give me your keys," and Vic threw him the keys, and he turns to run out the door, and Mike Sellers walks in. And all I remember about Mike was that when he walked in the door and he saw this fellow with a gun, the look on his hands were like this, and he was like that. And after that, all my brain could think is, Mark. I've got to get to Mark. I got to do CPR. I've got to do something. And so I ran back to Mark and called 911. First I tried to roll him. I couldn't roll him. Then I called 911 then. And went to the other side of Mark, untangled his legs. He was on his side, and his glasses were all actually on his face. I took his glasses off of him, and then I went to the other side and remembered my respiratory and finally got him turned. But in the meantime, I'm screaming and yelling, "Vic, help me, help me, help me. Somebody help me, somebody help me. I can't turn him." 911 called me back, and I said, I can't talk. I can't talk. And there's nobody here to help me. Well, then I finally get Mark over on his back, and I had already checked. There was no pulse, even before I turned him, and there was no pulse, no carotid, no, and then when I turned him on his back, absolutely no respirations, and he was already turning blue. I saw it looked like an exit wound here. His eye was all swollen, but when I turned him on his back, I see his whole chest is full of blood, and I thought he must have had a chest wound as well. And then the policeman came in and immediately rechecked his carotid, and he said he's gone. And I said, I know, and I just stayed there. That's it.
When we were at the hospital, you mentioned grabbing a hammer. When did you get the hammer?
Yeah, after the guy lunged out at Mark out of the bathroom, and there was a hammer, and I just instinctively grabbed it. I grabbed it, and I thought, do I have to defend myself? I didn't even think of my gun. I don't think that way. I don't know. I just, but because Mark wanted me to get my license to carry. He always wanted me safe. Mm-hmm. He always was protecting me and trying to protect his flock, really. And I grabbed so I remember I grabbed the hammer, and then I thought, and the kid, oh yes, he saw me do that. He saw me do that. And then but I thought, what am I doing? I could never, ever strike anyone with a hammer and possibly kill a person and send him to hell. Mm-hmm. Because that's where he would have gone. And I dropped it. I have no idea where. I dropped it, and I thought, if my husband doesn't live, I know where he's going. I do know where he's going. And Christianity is not always pretty. It's made of martyrs. It's made of Christ that suffered and died, and it's made of sacrifice, and He laid down His life for us, and so that's the hammer. I did grab it, I did have it, and I dropped it.
Yeah, it's understandable. We were just, when crime scene goes through the area, we're just trying to put how everything got to where it was.
Absolutely.
Do you remember where it was when you picked it up?
Yes. It was just outside the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
They had already gone in. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it was just outside the bathroom. I think there's a little file cabinet there. Mm-hmm. And it was sitting right there. I think Mike uses it for he was doing something around the church.
Okay.
And it was just sitting there.
All right.
I never saw it before there, but
you said that as he was running out the door after he took Vic's keys, that Sellers was standing in the doorway. Did you see Sellers with a gun?
No, I never did. Never did.
The whole time?
Never.
Did you watch the individual run out the door, or you went back and Mark?
No, he, let's see. The last I saw was the fellow had the gun on Mike. Mm-hmm. And I believe, he shot. And that's when I turned around and went to Mark.
Okay.
We had asked Vic to carry. He used to be a security guard. We had asked him a year ago or so to start carrying his gun, and he said he left. He told somebody he left it in the truck. And I did not see Mike with a gun at all. I didn't. All I saw him that was like that, and I thought I can't do anything. I don't know. And I didn't even think about my own gun, which is in the back room. And
did you hear any more shots after you went to Mark?
I did not. I didn't hear any more gunshots, but I was screaming and wailing and myself.
We're going to get your jacket. You didn't have it at the hospital. Where was it?
No, it was. It was in a chair. Nell said it was in a chair, and it was like I had come out of it, and the sleeves were even kind of tucked in there like that.
When we were at the hospital, I remember you talking about your arm, but there was nothing on your shirt.
Did you wear that jacket that morning to the church?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. And I thought I took it off when we got there.
Okay.
See, and so this doesn't make sense to me, because I thought I felt a bullet by this arm, but on the jacket, that rip is on the other arm. So I thought, well, maybe that's from the struggle, because that jacket, it would have been right there, close by where they were struggling.
I know I asked you about the money bags yesterday on the phone. I talked to Mr. Vic after I talked to you, and he said that really the people that handle that is Mr. Sellers and yourself. And I know that probably the seller does more of it than you do now.
We don't do anything with the money. Mark and I never do, because this is a board-run church.
Okay.
And the only thing
some of the questions I had about that was, do you ever keep money in the bags, like for expenses for the church, like to go pick up some coffee cups or anything like that, like spending money for necessities?
I don't even know the answer to that. That would be all Mike.
Okay.
Mike has been.
I'll ask him about it then.
Writing the checks. He's been. I don't really even know when he makes the deposits, but he usually is really good about doing the deposits right away.
Do you know where they keep those bags at in that building?
On the table.
On the table? Okay.
Yeah, just out in the open.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not.
Vic said something about usually they have like Sunday